Knowledge and skills associated with the traditional Samoan craft of sennit or afa making will now be preserved thanks to a 120,000 Samoan tala grant from the United States government. This is another milestone project initiated by His Excellency Mr. David Huebner while visiting the capital a few weeks back.
Well, we looked at a variety of options here in Samoa before I went back to Washington and made the argument for the grant, and it appeared that this is one of the most important parts of Samoan cultural heritage physically, and that because of the aging population of the sennit artisans and craftsmen, that there was a danger of losing the skill. That's also why it was such a large grant. It's a little bit unusual for that large a grant when it does not involve a structure. It's a total of about 101,000 pala, which is almost 50,000 US dollars. And what that will do is allow the making of a documentary to preserve the technique, but it will also allow us to contribute some funds to the ministry to help preserve other aspects of the craft.
The grants from the United States Ambassador's Fund for Cultural Preservations will go straight to the Tiapapata Art Center, where it will be used in the implementation of the project alongside the Ministry of Education's Sports and Culture. One main output of the project is a documentary film exploring the making and the use of the coconut sennit.
I've been working for a couple of years investigating natural fibers in Samoa, and of course this is perhaps the most important natural fiber because I look upon the afa as a building block for lots of other parts of the society and the way of life. So after a couple of years of researching it and putting to the Ambassador's Fund for Cultural Preservation an application for assistance to produce a documentary film, the main purpose of this film is to capture the knowledge, the traditional ecological knowledge associated with the fiber, how it's made, the afa itself, the sennit, and how it's used. And sadly, for much of its use, we no longer see the finished products because people aren't making them anymore, and people aren't using afa anymore. Ever since the Europeans arrived and brought with them nails, rope, nylon rope, screws, glue, all kinds of devices that can be used to join and fasten together items, the afa has been in decline.
In addition, a special exhibit of the craft will be developed for display at the National Museum of Samoa. Mr. Malimana also added some government ministries will play an important part in preserving traditional art and planting of traditional plants.
There are at least 2 other ministries that will play a very important role, possibly in the future. One is, of course, the Ministry of Environment, because they will be probably more involved with any conservation efforts and promotion of, which includes, as a forestry measure for the new afa. The other ministry is the Ministry of Women, Community and Social Development, because it's there that you have a direct link to the villages through the Pulinu'u and Suya Tamaitai. Through those linkages, it'll be easy to promote interest and some understanding on why such a practice is important for the future as well as for our past.
The Ambassador Fund for Cultural Preservation supports the preservations of cultural sites, cultural objects, and forms of traditional cultural expressions in more than 100 developing countries around the world. Iko Katawa, TV3 News.